Hey guys, Clumsy here, and in this video we'll be checking out the Volvo VNL 2018, this beautiful looking truck right here. So the original model of this truck was done by Franck Peru. You might know him from some of the other mods that he has been releasing. And as always, when Franck Peru releases a mod, it's a very high quality in terms of the number of triangles, very detailed models, both in the exterior and interior. And you can see the level of detail in the model here. So many edges. Here's how the interior looks like. Yes. Very detailed. Now, as a consequence, usually the mods from him are very performance intensive, so the only people who can run his mods usually are those with the, as some other people say it, those with NASA computers. And this is where galimim comes in. Galimim has optimized many of his trucks, and now he has optimized as well the Volvo VNL 2018 version 2.0. This is that one. And now it's playable even with such beautiful models and animations and sounds. Before we get started though, before we drive around, let's go and check out what we can customize with this truck, and let's look at it from the performance aspect. So I am currently in 1.32 and it is working pretty fine. I think there might be a few red lines in the log, but nothing that is causing a crash, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now, comparing as usual when I do these mod spotlights, we compare it with the default SKRS truck, which is in around, if you look at this one, the TC triangle count, that's how complex the model is basically. So it's around 300,000. If you compare that with the Volvo VNL, it's at 1.8 million. So 300,000 to 1.8 million, that's like 6 times more the number of triangles. So yeah, it's going to be a bit more laggy. But most of the mods, to be fair, are around this range, around 1 million plus. So it's not that bad anymore, thanks to galimim's optimizations. But you can see the definite beauty of the model here by Franck Peru. Yeah, I cannot fault that one. Looks so good. Goodness. In the interior, if you look at the interior here, normally, so this is with the actually this is 1618862. Okay, so this is already with the improvements from Alexei P. That's why the triangle count is a lot bigger, even with this quote-unquote default SKRS truck. 1.6 million. Normally, I think it would be around, what, 800,000 for a really default SKRS truck. So 1.6 million. Oh, wrong button. I always have the wrong button there. 1.6 million. And if you compare that with the Volvo VNL, it has 6.5 million. So it definitely is a very complicated model, right? But you can definitely see the level of detail in there. Yeah, so it's not without fault, it's not without reason, basically, right? Anyway, let's go through the customization options. Let me turn that thing off. All right, so from performance point of view, you might get a bit laggy, but with how this looks, it might just well be worth it. Yes, 3 options for the cabin. 760, 740, 760, and 860. Let's go with that guy here. 6x2 and 6x4 options with varying fuel tanks. 6x2 and 6x4 tag lift or mid lift, or just a 6x4 straight out. A lot of engine options in here. I guess I think these are the Volvo ones, the Volvo D11, D13, and this one, the X15, is a, correct me if I'm wrong, Cummins, I think. But yeah, you have quite a number of engines here, and that's included already as part of the truck itself. A lot of transmission options. You can either go with Eaton Fuller or an I-shift, wherein you would Also, there's also an Allison gear here, transmission. I use myself an I-shift, and when I drive this truck, I drive in an automatic transmission. Because for some reason, when I tried going Eaton Fuller and going 18-speed manual, for some reason the gear ratio is a bit off. It's a bit like they're too close to each other. So I found out, I discovered that the shifting wasn't very fun. Like I would be first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear in a matter of like 1 second each only. And even the fifth gear. So it's a bit too close to each other in my opinion. The lower ranges. Right? This one has an option for a GPS. You can also make that tan. Yeah. And the paint is pretty basic, but I mean, with this kind of beauty, you don't really need a lot of paint options in here, right? I mean, even just simple red like that. Even the paint job I'm using right now in my bought truck, it's just white like this, but it still looks so good. I mean, you can do anything you want, and it will still look majestic. Maybe except for this one, too mustardy. Yeah. So yes, very, very beautiful base model. Now in terms of the dots here, chrome, add another chromey bit there, why not? You can make the lights plastic chrome or paint job, and that goes well with the bumper, which you can choose to have something like that with chrome over there, or something with paint or plastic. So you can mix and match that. For me personally, I like the paint one. Make it paint for both like that. But you can also go chrome or go home, right? Something like that. I love that trim. Beautiful lines here. You can put some lights in there. You can put a bumper, but I'm not such a huge fan. It seems, I don't know, seems like an overgrown mustache in my opinion. So no thank you. You can also add hood mirrors, but with the number of triangles as we've seen in this truck, probably not the best idea. You will slow down your game even more with that one. So for me personally, even though they're pretty useful, pretty handy, if you look inside, yeah, they're very visible, I would rather not have them for performance purposes. Right. Chrome or paint. These are inside. What is that? There you can also have a chrome lining in there, and beacon options, right? Door handles. You can change the side skirts if you want just the fuel tanks in there, or if you want to cover that up, or maybe halfway through. You can even have like how do you call that thing? It's called side part here, but I guess there's a more elegant name for it. And here there is nothing, there is no item that's compatible by default, but I guess you could download some mods for lights or something in there. Looks pretty nice actually. Alright, the tires, I don't think there's a special tire, special wheel for it. Let's just double check. Yeah, there is nothing in there. Okay. So those are default. And at the back, there's currently only an option for single exhaust in here. Nothing fancy. At the back you can change, actually no, the mud flaps are also default. So right now just a single option. So mainly what you have going for you here is the beauty of the base truck itself. A little bit of customization, not too much. But yeah, this is basically what you'll get. The interior is also very, very beautiful. And I think Galimim added this steering wheel. I think it's this one which he added. Not so sure, but you have options in here. That looks great as well. But for me personally, that looks the most majestic is a term I would use. Now there are no options for accessories. You can see no dots here. But I mean, keeping it elegant, I guess. And I think there is a US law that doesn't allow for like cabin accessories. That's why SCS doesn't even have the cabin accessory DLC as part of ATS, because it's not legally allowed. You can have something hanging in here though, at least. That's something I won from the Steam, the World of Trucks event. And you can get curtains. Not really a curtains fan, but you can do that if you want. You can even add a radio in here. And the little interior lights. Some interior lights here. Side mirror, you can remove that. I'm not sure if in the US that is legally required, but in Europe it is. In the US maybe not. Yeah, so that's basically how it looks like. Now before we go ahead, I want to highlight something. I did change something else. So if we look inside this truck, you might notice something different versus when you just download the mod by default. And let me show you what I mean. So I saw a problem with the default mod here, the one made by Franck Peru and modified by Galimim. And let me look at that plane. Let me illustrate. So I was testing this truck yesterday, and for example, I was in this kind of scenery, that one, right? But the problem is when I look inside the truck, so that's the exterior. When I go to the interior view, it blows up like this. So I saw that there was a problem with the exposure on the windshield, and that's a very common problem with mods. That has something to do with the vertex color of the windshield. That's basically like something, the 3D model. The color is too white, so it causes the colors to blow up. It should be gray by default. So instead of having like that inside, you get something overblown. And you also have these lines in the windshield. I can't point to them, but you also have these lines on the windshield, which I think are like demisters or heaters, I guess. I personally was not a fan of that, so I removed them. I modified the model in Blender. I updated the color of the glass, and I removed those lines. And now it looks like this. Yeah, so a lot more balanced, right? So a lot more like consistent with what you see outside. Yeah, so that's basically what I did. And that fix, quote-unquote fix or add-on, you can download using the link in the video description. I also have it in my mods list, so you have everything. But that's basically what I'm using, so I can have consistent exterior and interior view. Yeah, no change in lighting whatsoever. And when I peek out like that, it's basically the same. And nothing of those lines. It might be realistic, but personally I was getting a bit irritated. The wipers work, as you can see. Lights. Actually, let's open the engine first. Engine sound isn't bad either. I think this is by Grishboom in Oddfellow, if I look at the credits. And the dashboard I think is by Piva. Same with the Volvo VNL. Very beautiful interior, this one. It's like the American version of the next gen Scania. You know, red and black as well. It's how elegant that is. Let's hear that engine again from outside this time. Lights. Lights are working. Left and right signals. Yeah, they're pretty much set. Brake lights. Brake lights are still on. And yeah, I just have this matching trailer at my back, but we don't have any job right now. Since this is 1.32, I can have my own trailer, just drive around without any job whatsoever. Sometimes though the GPS is a bit too bright, but I'm not sure if that's a side effect of my fix. Maybe I altered something in there, but it's not that like that every time. It depends on the lighting. Not really sure. Maybe I can fix that even more. But yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, see, if there's no such sunlight, I think it is getting like a bloom from the sunlight. So maybe I need to change the material there. I don't know, but it's not that bad. Nah? If it gets too much, you might be able to tweak the dashboard light here. Yeah, you can change that if it gets too bright on the GPS. So you can change that using F4, for example, that one. Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. No need lights right now. Good. So let's just drive around a little so you can see. You can get a feel of how the truck drives, and then you can download for yourself. And yeah, if you're liking the add-on as well, the exposure fix and the lines removal from the windshield, I really hate those. I guess they might be there in real life, but I'm fine with having a little bit of creative freedom because they get in the way. You know, you're driving for hours and hours and you have those lines in front of you. Usually those lines you only see at the back of your car as a demister. You know, you press that button in your dashboard when it gets foggy, when it gets misty. You press that button and those lines conduct heat so that the mist, the fog from your glass gets removed, something like that. Don't ask me about the details on the science part, but Greyhound bus incoming. Thank you. That plane has been flying all over the place. We are somewhere in California right now. I can't remember exactly where. Ukiah, I think. Is that how you read it? Oh yeah, there it is. And those who are wondering, I'm using Foggy Weather 2.0 graphics mod. Currently in closed beta, unfortunately. And the floating icons, the parking signals, the no entry signs that are floating, they are part of subtle icons floating back, also from the same mod author as Foggy Weather, Scania Trucker. And it's not yet released either. I think they will be released at the same time, so I'll let you guys know when that happens. How do you get to the highway? Why am I just going around here? Can I get on it? Ah, okay. Yeah, that was a bridge we went through. We have to go around. So let me bring this up again. Let's go on the highway. Let's drive a little bit. And then I'll let you guys go. What else have I not covered? At night, I guess. Well, wipers work, right? Yeah, wipers work pretty fine. You get droplets on the windshields properly when you don't turn on your wipers. So it's pretty realistic. And you can see the interior is as beautiful as imagined. Although yeah, as you saw the number of triangles a while ago, your mileage may vary in terms of frame rate. I have a GTX 1070 and I'm using an AMD Radeon 1600. So the graphics card is not like top of the line, but it is pretty decent. The Radeon is not pretty optimized for ATS and ATS2. If you're going solely for trucking, it's much more recommended to go Intel because of the higher clock speeds and everything. But yeah, even with that, I'm getting pretty decent frame rates. Yes, so your mileage may vary though. So go and download the mod, check how your frame rate is, because on mine it looks pretty decent so far. Even with inside the city, yeah, even inside the city with a lot of vehicles in there, so it's not that bad. Also, you get Volvo trucks in the AI as well. That may be both a good or a bad thing. Because you get more variety on trucks. Not only you don't only get the default SES trucks now, you also get the Volvo VNL as part of traffic. The bad thing is I don't think they have LODs. So that means level of detail, LOD. That means the low res version of the model, which is almost always required in traffic because it is very performance friendly to have them. So basically, if none of that made sense to you, what I mean is, when you download this mod, when you enable this mod, you get Volvo trucks in the AI, but it might get a bit laggy when that happens because the Volvo trucks are very high level, high detailed, yeah, very complicated models, and they're not optimized for AI. So you might slow down a bit more. You might lose a few more frames than intended. So if you have a very powerful computer, then you might enjoy this. But if you have a potato right now, it might not be a very enjoyable experience. Yeah, as I mentioned, your mileage may vary, and I would recommend you at least try it though. Because who knows, even with 6 million triangles, maybe it works. Maybe it works. So far for me, it is working fine. And with 1.32, wrong merging lane. With 1.32, SCS improved the rendering. So basically the performance became better. And I think it's working out. Yeah, I think it's working out. Very, very smooth compared to the previous version. Now there are a couple of discussions about stuttering in 1.32, but that's a whole different discussion than this one. Today let's just focus on the mod and enjoy it. Yeah. So that's basically how the mod is. Maybe I'll stop over here and I'll let you guys decide on your own if you like it or not. And let me know in the comments if you do try it and if you do encounter a couple of bugs, or if you try it and you love it, or if it causes your game to shut down, or you can't load it properly because of the frame rate, everything. Yeah, let me know. I'd be interested to know how it works for you, because I am loving it very much. Usually I just create fixes like the windshield if I like the mod. Like in the MP1 I made the windshield fix, and this one I'm liking very much, so I did the windshield fix as well. And yeah, there's a bit of inconsistency there. If you look at the windshield from the exterior, there's a bit of tint, but if you look inside, there is no tint whatsoever. But I'm fine with that because I don't like gray tint here, and too lazy to remove the tint from the outside. So that would require probably changing the exterior model as well. Anyway, enough babbling from me. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Comment and let me know how it goes for you, and share with your friends. Alright, thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Catch you in the next one, and I'm probably going to record a video with me driving with this truck because I just haven't gotten enough of it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Catch you in the next video. Clumsy trucking, and bye bye. Oh yes, and the horn. It has air horns. Even without air horns, it has air horn sounds. So there you go. Clumsy trucking, and bye bye.